David Resler is chief economist of Nomura Securities International. He joins us now from here in New York with his reaction to the Fed chairman's comments. David, welcome to Bloomberg News. Always good to see you.
Good to be here.
Any surprises from what Mr. Bernanke had to say today?
Well, not so much in his prepared statement, but I thought in the Q&A he did provide a little bit more clarification on some of the proposals that are being bandied about for reforming the financial system.
Such as?
Well, I think Mr. Volcker, King, and Kaufman have all called for some kind of restoration of something akin to Glass-Steagall separation of investment and commercial banking, separation of risk-taking and deposit-taking institutions. And Bernanke didn't, I think he acknowledged the fruitfulness of looking at the question in that way, but I didn't hear him endorse any of those proposals wholeheartedly. In fact, he talked about how it might well be desirable for deposit-taking institutions to engage in market risk-taking activities.
David, one thing that I did note while I was watching the speech with my partner, Lori Rothman, today was that Mr. Bernanke did acknowledge significant economic challenges remain, he said, and he did also say that the flow of credit remains constrained. Anything surprising there?
No, I think he's spot on. Those are precisely the reasons that most of us economists are looking for a year ahead in which the economy grows, but at much less than is typical of an economy coming out of a deep recession. We're looking for growth next year that might be in the neighborhood of 2.5%. Normally, if we come out of a recession of the sort that we've had, we should be talking about 7, 8, or 9% growth, and no one's talking about that. And the reason is that credit is still restrained, and the job market is going to be one that's going to take a long time to get jobs back to normal.
And David, I want to get to that job market in just a moment, but since you mentioned the credit again, Mr. Bernanke did say that the Fed has a wide range of tools for tightening credit. What tools might they be, and when will the Fed use them?
Well, I think it has an ample number of tools for tightening credit. One in particular is a relatively new one, which is the payment of interest on deposits of deposit-taking institutions with the Federal Reserve. Interest on excess and required reserves. The Fed will use that when it becomes necessary as a means of slowing any credit expansion that might become problematic. But as we heard today, the problem isn't too much credit extension, it's too little. And it's going to be a very long time before the Fed starts using any tightening measures, in my judgment.
But also holding this up, that jobs picture, when you have unemployment over 10%, that would mean that the Fed is loath to do anything about interest rates. They'll stay at this level for some time until the jobs picture turns around, correct?
Correct. That was one of 3 criteria that the FOMC laid out a little over a week ago when it last met. The other 2 being inflation expectations and the actual inflation rate. And none of those criteria that the Fed said are appropriate for keeping policy where it is right now are changing. Inflation's low, inflation expectations are contained, and resource utilization is very, very low.
And David, we have about 20 seconds left. What about the greenback? What about the dollar? When are we going to see the fates of the dollar turn around?
You know, the dollar's been fairly steady the last couple of months against the euro and against the yen. It's not in anything resembling the kind of distress that we've seen in the past that's maybe provoked some kind of intervention to stabilize a currency's decline. And I don't see the Fed doing anything off what we heard from Mr. Bernanke today.
David Resler, chief economist at Nomura Securities, going over Mr. Bernanke's remarks today at the Economic Club of New York. David, as always, thanks.